back-to-back Rugby World Cup champions. They stand alone with a fourth Webb Ellis Cup.
Global, say it, Oezy, say it.
Global Nation of Domination. Welcome to another episode of CD, aka Chatter Dogs, where today we got a guest in studio who's going to take us and just help us relive, from a fan's point of view, South Africa winning the World Cup for 2023, what they went through, what it was like. And with me is my boy PD, and I've got Lyndon with me. Please, let's get into this from a fan's point of view. PD, over to you.
First of all, I'd like to say, Global Familia, greetings to everyone. Yes, we got Lyndon on board. Lyndon, welcome to the Chatter Dog family. We honored to have you on board here, and thank you for making time to share your stories with us. I mean, for us, it's about everyone in the world, no matter who you are, where you're from, your background, race, color, creed, it doesn't matter. We want to know your story, and we are very, very privileged to have you here today. Thank you so much, Lyndon, for your time.
Yeah, I want to thank both of you guys for having me on the show.
Awesome,
Great.
awesome. So I think let's just jump into that, Oezy. I think Lyndon is here, and without a further ado, maybe we should hand it over to Lyndon, and Lyndon must give us some feedback in terms of his history, his story, and then we can kickstart from there. What do you say, Oezy?
Yes, I think so. Lyndon's a self-proclaimed grand sports master. You know, he covered a wide range. Well, that's how we know him. Covered a wide range of sport, very knowledgeable, very technical. And I thought we just had to get his version of how the World Cup went, what everything was like, and also just to send out a great shout out to all the supporters of the Springboks. We had the banks coming out who were donating money. We had schools sending the players WhatsApp messages of support and good luck. It was really a time of coming together for South Africa, and I think the supporters, not the players, they've got enough airtime. This is for the supporters out there. If you supported the Springboks or just rugby in general, this is for you. Lyndon, let's get into it.
Okay, look, for me, I was pondering about which one was actually the greatest World Cup victory. Was it 1995? Was it 2023? Yeah, back into unification, back into world sport in 1995. Big hoo-ha. 2023, fourth World Cup win. That's something amazing. Nobody has done it before. And if you look at the growth of South African support since 1995 up until 2023, amazing. You've got lots of young guys.
And not just South African, Lyndon. Sorry, not just South African. The whole world. There's Americans. There's people in Eastern Europe loving South African rugby.
All over.
They love the Springboks.
There's South Africans living in New Zealand that's got New Zealand citizenship that still loves the South African brand of football. So,
exactly.
And you must also remember there's a Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere fight, right? Who is the greatest of Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere? And you'll find the world actually sitting behind the Southern Hemisphere and sitting behind South Africa. So it was, you could see by the road shows that South Africa had. Look at the airports that was full. Everybody was there, no matter what color, what creed, what religion. They were all together supporting the Boks.
I think it's definitely grown from 95, and also I think the other one was it 2019?
Yes.
A lot of people didn't understand. Was it 15 or 19 or 18 or whatever?
Look, it was 1995. Then it was 2009.
That's right.
Then it was 2015, 2019, and then 2023. So yes, Owen, you're 100% correct. A lot of people didn't know what was happening in 1995. Those kids were born in 1995, 20 odd years ago. They all grown up, didn't know what the past was, didn't care about the past. They are now behind the box. And that is how it's been growing year on, year on.
What
But
was your
yeah,
PD?
sorry.
Yes,
Are we easy?
break it. Yeah, get into it, PD.
No, I just wanted to ask Lyndon. I think, for the older generations, I think there's more to the rugby, the especially South African rugby. I mean, the '95 World Cup was, I mean, it's still on everyone's tongues these days. You know what I mean? That was a game changer for us. I think, and like I said, we don't like to talk about politics and that, but it brought a nation together. It no matter where, what color, creed, religion, everyone. I mean, it was a weird time because everyone was now unified. Mandela, he was released, he became president. We didn't know what was happening in the country. We didn't know where we were going in the country. There's no more apartheid. Everyone was now mixed in schools and everything. Everyone was trying to find their feet. I think that's the thing. And that World Cup just brought us all together. I think we all were just on the same page after that. And that's why it was so significant, especially to us, the older generation, not the guys born post 95. And I don't know, Lyndon, maybe you can give us some of your thoughts.
You touched something significantly now, and I'm going to bring it up. You must remember, unification came in 1991. In 1991, South African Rugby Union had the best colored players. And those people, in 1994, we had our general election, ANC won. 1995 was the World Cup. 3 years after unification, a lot of black colored South African players who were supposed to be in that team could have felt vindicated. They never.
Yeah.
They all stood behind what was picked in 1995, and they're all garnered behind them, irrespective of whether they should have been there or whether they should have not been there. And that has filtered down to their kids, not to hate, but to carry on. And they've never done that. Most of the Africans haven't done that. Although, and I'll mention names, the people like Fahmi Solomon, people like Nazim Murad, who are icons in colored rugby, who could have been in that 1995 World Cup squad. They've never looked back and said, guys, we will not support you because we could have been there. They supported them.
Yeah.
And that filtered down to their kids. And it filtered down to everybody that was born during that time of 1995, 2015. That's why the Springbok support has just grown. It would have been bad for the ex-South African Rugby Union guys to sit back and say, we don't want to support you because we're not playing there. No, they didn't do that. They went on and they put their effort behind the box. Where they could help, they helped. People like Fahmi Solomon himself, he'll tell you that. People like Nazim Murad, they'll tell you that. People like Peter Jooster, Saru, I think he was on the executive as well. They put the energy behind the Springboks. So, yeah, that, like you said, 1995, since then, the Springboks just grew in support.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I even saw Roger Federer at the finals with the Springbok jersey on. So it shows you just how it's spread across not only nations but also across the sports. Other sports lovers and players actually support the Boks, which is something to be proud of. I think that's definitely it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, we missed him. I think I should have actually just quoted what even Owen's racing star Lewis Hamilton said about the Springboks. I mean, even
really?
doesn't know a thing about rugby, but he was behind the Springboks, and just because of the unification since 1995, how we grew as a nation, how we grew as a sporting nation, and forgot about whatever's happening in the country.
Then I think what a lot of people want to know is, as a sports fan and supporting the Springboks, what was it like for you watching the road to the final. Obviously South Africa had a great start. They lost to Ireland. There was a bit of a setback. A lot of disgruntled fans. Could we do this? And then all of a sudden we get all the teams of death, one after the other. England, France, all the All Blacks. Not to mention the pool
Winning
games
by
as
1
well.
point.
Yeah, to make a point actually. But what was it like?
Guys,
what was the road like for you?
Guys, I think you've got South Africa's probably got the most cunning, astute, clever coach that we've ever had. He's proven it. He's won it twice in a row.
Correct.
Right? And
Yeah.
the build up to the World Cup. Ras is very clever. Took all the shine away from the Springboks. Let France be the favorites. Let New Zealand be the favorites. From 2020, after the 2019 World Cup, up until the 2023 World Cup, South Africa was on a good side. But Rassi knew what he was doing. He was building. We lost the championships, the Tri-Nations, what we used to call the Tri-Nations. We lost that.
That's right.
We went to Twickenham, and that was the warm-up game before the World Cup. Rassi thrashed the All Blacks. And then he went into the competition. And like I again said, astute guy. When he lost against Ireland, everybody was saying that he was throwing the game, right? So that you could get a favorable. I don't think it happened. I think Ireland was just too good that day. I think Ireland was too good.
Yeah.
But after that game, you could see how Rassi was actually maneuvering, strategizing to get into that final. And he knew if he was in that final. He knew once he was in that final. First of all, before that, he was the underdog.
Yes.
When he got into that final, he knew exactly. Because you must remember, that final, South Africa was probably, or they wanted it the most. And I'll tell you why they wanted it the most. The first country, back-to-back 4 times.
Yeah.
That was huge. Huge. Okay? And also, New Zealand on the other side, they also wanted it the 4th time. But they didn't want it back-to-back. Theirs wasn't back-to-back. Rassis was back-to-back as a coach and as a sporting director. So, everything went out of the water. If you look at who goes into a World Cup final without a backup scrum off, without a backup fly off? Nobody does it. You've got to have balls to do that against an All Black team.
True. There.
So the build-up, if anybody that knows the game knew what Rassi was on, he had a plan, and he had a brilliant plan, and he executed it brilliantly.
Yeah, and that's how we walked away victorious.
Yeah, if you look at I've spoken to a lot of guys as well, where Rassi made it so comfortable. Wives, kids went over. I think they spent the first half a month there. Then they came back. And when it came to the semis, they flew the family back again. So you weren't going home. You weren't going home to a hotel room. Yes. After the game, you were going home to a family. That was important.
It is important. Yes.
Absolutely. So
yes, it's part of the strategy. It was all part of the emotional. The it's not just physical. There's a strategy involves all emotions, all everything, not just the physical side of it.
Correct. And Rassi did it brilliantly. I don't think there's any other team that done it. Look, it must have cost South African Rugby Union a lot of money, but it got them the World Cup, and you can't argue with that.
No,
you cannot argue. Sports people are human. They 2 months away, you got to miss your family.
Yeah,
you've got to.
Absolutely.
And he created an environment that was like a home environment. See, I also mentioned it. It was a buddy system there. where everybody were friends. And that, to me, when the team is united, you've got problems.
Yeah, the camaraderie. It's that camaraderie ship, where, 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah. Correct, Owen. So with the build-up, like I said, if you knew the game, if you saw what Rassi's plans were, you knew exactly that final we're going to see. And once we're in that final, it's game over. It's game over.
That's awesome, man. It was a great feeling, Lyndon. Now, Lyndon, tell us more about you and your history of sport and what's made you such a passionate supporter. What is it that have you been a sports fan your whole life, or a sports player? Maybe you played professional sport on your side. Give us some insight there, or even a coach. Yeah.
In our days, and I'm sorry, this is political. It was very difficult to get into the professional era. I was extremely passionate about sport, but I was a lazy one. So what I'll do is I started off with tennis. We were fortunate to have a tennis court at home. So I started off with tennis. I think I grew up in a place called Paul when I was. There were 3 Springboks come from, by the way, from a town called Paul. Played tennis. Was a champ for 2 years. Went into the Boland tennis side.
Wow.
Was probably I think I was second seed at the age of under 14 or something like that. And then I just left tennis. When I got to that level, I left it because I knew there was nothing going forward.
Yes.
Couldn't make money. Then I went to go and play rugby. I was selected in 82. I was selected for the Boland school side. And one day, and I mentioned Salman Murat's name to you guys, Western Province captain.
Yes.
I played with his dad, Nazim Murat. And we were friends, by the way. And he said to me one Sunday, just come down and come and watch us play. And I walked down and he said to me, yes, Boots, you gotta take the field.
What a pleasure.
And I played second team. And halftime, the chairman of the club came and said, come here, just sit down, you're gonna go play first team now.
What a pleasure.
And then I got into the first team. I think I was 16 or 17 years old when I played with the likes of Ghalib Hendricks, who was Saru captain, by the way, Western Province fullback, Nazim Murat, Hasim Hendricks, Yazid Murat. So I was in that Murat clan. I don't know whether you guys saw that they were huge rugby players.
Back in the day,
I think it was 6 or 7 cousins. They all got Springbok colours. We played under the Boland flag. The Western Province Rugby Union side, with the likes of Fakhmu Solomons, with the like of Aslam Tofi, Nazim Tofi. So I mean, those were big boys. They were heavy boys. And at the age of 16, those guys guided me. And then, unfortunately, at the age of 21, I had a fractured vertebra. Sure. And the ex-Springbok flag, Tian Stoffberg, was my physiotherapist. And at the age of 21, he said to me, you either play rugby and sit in a wheelchair or stop rugby.
Jeez.
And that was my rugby career gone.
Wow.
Then I went into golf and I started playing golf, and we belonged to the Paul Golf Club. And there were 5 colours that were the first members of the club. My father, my 3 brothers, my 2 brothers, myself, and a guy called Dr. Charles Bailey. They took us into the club, and I think within the first year we were into the league. We played Paul League. Played that for about 5 or 6 years, and okay, fine, let's try something else. And you cannot believe it. At the age of, I think, 30, I started playing soccer.
Wow.
Sure.
Never got far in it. Never got far in it. But I had 2 sons, and that actually went into semi-pro. One played for Orlando Pirates. Went over to London, broke his ankle, got sent back to Randburg Soccer Club. And once you get sent back, that means that they don't want to spend money on you for your rehabilitation and stuff like that.
Yes.
I've been involved with soccer. I've been coaching soccer. Did my license at one stage. because you can't coach if you don't have at least a certificate. Did that. Coached
Yes.
at Randburg Soccer Club. And I think I stopped playing soccer at the age of 50 for the over 35 side.
Wow.
Now I'm pensioned.
Sure.
Now I'm
So
pensioned
you,
and I'm just playing golf now.
so you're a proper all rounder, hey? If now when people talk about all rounders, I'm going to think of you, Lyndon, because you've done them all.
But it was lazy. I saw that there was an opportunity. When I got to a level where I should have pushed to have gone further, I stopped.
Could have, yeah.
And then now I try something else. Now you try something else. Because
you
like
think
I said, in those
you
days,
think you hit your peak? Yes.
excuse me. Yeah, you think you're the hero. You've done everything. Now let's go. Meanwhile, you're not. And to every kid outside there, I can tell you now, whatever you're doing, don't stop. We never had the opportunities. You guys have the opportunity. And
For
don't
sure.
ever
And I
for
think-
1 minute think that you are too good to go further. You gotta push.
You have to. I mean, we've seen the likes of Messi and Ronald and Beckham. I've seen their stories on Netflix. These guys they just pushed. Their parents pushed them. They loved the sport. The passion was there, and they wanted to be the best. They would practice hours and hours and hours on end to be the best. And that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
talent just doesn't land on your lap and you think you're going to go become a professional because you can kick a ball or hit a tennis ball or whatever, run with a rugby ball. It doesn't work that way. It's about passion, dedication, and pushing it to the extreme, basically. Pushing yourself to the extreme, making you the best.
I mentioned two guys. Cheslin Colby for once was too small. Everybody said he was too small. Look where the guy is today.
Yes, he's one of the heroes.
And let me add this. What made Cheslin Colby good was Rassie. Let me take you back a couple of years when we had Gio Aplon, where people like Jake White, where people like who was the other coach? Nick Mallet said he was too small. They all said Gio Aplon was too small. Cheslin Colby was taken by Rassie, and there was nothing about you too small.
No,
I've got
that guy is a bullet.
Yeah, there's a guy that used to play, was a friend of my younger son, Victor Ngopi. I don't know whether you guys know him, baseball player.
No.
Played down at the bottom at Randburg. He played at Randburg, right? Baseball player, South African baseball player. Before you knew it, he was snapped up by American side. And he's playing baseball in America now, of course.
You're kidding me.
Now, you go and Google this guy. His mother and him and his brother lived in Randburg baseball clubhouse.
Really?
When it was a game on, Victor and them had to move out on a Saturday.
Sure.
And they could only move back after the game. But that
After the game
had dedication. That Lighty had dedication. He went on, played the game, played it so well that today he's in the States, bought his mother a house, and she's living the life now.
Wow. I wonder which team he's playing for. If it's like one of the big teams, like the Red Sox or the Chicago White Sox or one of them.
I can't tell you, but Gift is the one brother, Victor's the other one. Guys are in the States, living the life. And that was all through dedication.
Yeah. And that's it. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's all about dedication and commitment. And I think that is, and we saw that as well this past weekend. I mean, the Boks are on their tours now. The supporters are lining up in the streets, blowing horns, hooters. Everyone's going mad. Everyone's celebrating. Flag is flying high, and it's really been a great moment for us as a nation and and for the sport. I think we need more of this. I think we need more positivity. We are a powerful nation. We can stand together. We can be a powerful nation. We've obviously have a lot of setbacks, which we know of, in all respects. But I think we just hope that we can get through this. And standing together, I'm sure we can. We can get through anything. And I think that's the take from this episode. Yeah. But Lyndon, again, I think.
Sorry, can I just say one thing?
Yeah, no, of course you can. Of course.
And what was the best moment for me is, which at times probably would brought tears to anybody's eyes, is if you've seen a black guy standing next to a white guy, watching the game in the pub, not knowing who they are, not knowing one another. And once that final whistle went, two of them hugging.
They were hugging each other. Exactly.
That to me was unity. Let's just hope that the unity just doesn't stay just within the sports circle, but when we go outside and when we go walk past one another, that unity will still stay there.
Yeah. Because you know what? I believe we need to learn from the past. The past is important, but we mustn't stay focused on the past. We must always look ahead. I think that's the most important thing. We all need to coexist. We all need to stand together as one. That unification that we always talk about, and that's the mindset that we need to instill in our kids, in our grandkids, in everyone that's around us. We need to set an example as individuals as well. Is how we need to live and be. Love thy neighbor. Love. And it applies to everyone, regardless of where you are. Love is an important concept in this world, and we need to be there for each other, and regardless from which country you live in, whatever. You get what I'm saying. It's an important overriding factor.
And come on, guys. The same passion that we're showing, that we showed towards the box. Let's go do that with the Proteas.
Yes.
And I don't care, sorry for my language, I don't care how shit they are, but let's go do the same for Bafana. Come on.
100%. No, 100%. And that's what they need. They need us to stand behind them. It mustn't just be a one-sided affair. It must be. We must treat all our sports, all our players the same way. 100%. Yes, there's been criticism and there's politics and all that, but we need to look past that. We need to just focus on them and back them all the way, 100%.
Yeah, let's not just back them when they're winning. Let's go and back them when they're losing as well.
Yeah, I think we think people just we're critical beings, so people are easy to criticize and throw in the towel, and I guess also if you're very like yourself, Lyndon, you being such a big supporter, you also don't like losing, I'm sure. So you do want to throw your toys out the cot, so to speak. But 100%, at the end of the day, it's people just trying to their best, doing it whatever talents they have for the sake of their country, and one needs to support them regardless.
Yeah, but Teddy, I think also that you mentioned about throwing toys out the cot when you lose. I think the lesson also to take away is, when you're at that level, and I understand, there's a lot of money thrown into these tournaments. Players, earn these ridiculous salaries, but let's not go into that. But the point is, win or lose, be gracious in whatever happens. If you're a winner, boast, boast moderately. Don't go rub it in the loser's face and I'm the champion, and if you lose, walk away graciously as well. Better luck next time. We've heard things like the All Blacks are now making written complaints about the ref, and that's going to change anything. And then also if you look at Lewis Hamilton in the 21 Abu Dhabi race, there was no sportsmanship between the constructors. Toto and Christian Horner couldn't even shake hands and congratulate each other. Mercedes was rather on the phone to their lawyers to try and get the decision. That is not. I understand big money, big podiums, big stage, but that needs to know its place. That for the sake of the fans, let's keep the sport clean, and we can have those type of discussions and arguments behind the scenes as well with fans. If your team wins, celebrate, be happy, but you don't need to go start fights online and attack the Kiwis and bring them down.
For sure.
Let's just keep it clean.
Look,
Sport needs to be clean.
And easy, like I was saying, at the end of the day, we human beings. We passionate. We're passionate about certain things. Some people hate losing. Some people are bad losers. It's just how it is. I mean, you get what I'm saying. You're getting extremists in all respects. So, but anyway, the point is, support your teams. Be there for your teams and continue being the great supporters that you are, because those players need you. Even the ones that are trying their best and not winning those World Cups, and be there for them. You know what I mean? They're representing us out there. They're flying the flag high, and for whichever country they represent, it's irrelevant. Support them, because you know what? They're also just human beings trying their best. And we've all been in that situation. We've all lost something. We've all tried our best at certain things, and just be there and just understand their situation. It's sometimes one needs to take that step back. But anyway, I think this has been a great episode. Yeah. Yes, Lyndon.
And in all of us, right? Those guys that's taking the pitch, you must be very careful not to just blame them. It's what's behind the scenes as well.
Absolutely.
There's
a lot of.
I'm not going to go into it, but
no.
Always remember, there's always something behind the scenes that makes Bafana, for instance, a disaster. There's politics in. Let's not beat around the bush. But at least what we can do as fans is to show those players that we are behind them, irrespective of what's happening behind the scenes.
100%.
The same as we did for the Boks. When the Boks lost, we were still there. We still supported them. The whole since 2019, from 2019 till 2023, the Boks lost the Champions League. We were still behind them. And that's what we must go and do with our other national sports as well. Be behind them, irrespective.
100%. Lyndon, is there anything you want, any last words from your side to whether it's players, fans, supporters, youngsters, someone trying to find their feet, someone that wants to be the best at what they are, or is there anything you would want to tell them?
Sky's the limit. Let nothing stop you. That's all I want to tell them. Sky's the limit. True. You can reach your dream. You can reach your dream as long as you work on your dream and not stop.
You are actually your own worst enemy. You can be your own worst enemy. You're the only one that stops. Correct. Yeah. Sure. Agreed.
That's correct. Yeah. So don't let and I'm taking the famous words of Cheslin Colby. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, people told me I will not. I mean, my mother once says to me, "You're not going to pass matric if you don't go study." Well, I passed matric. So I don't even listen.
You already proved them wrong.
So don't listen what other people tell you. You go out there. You go and do your best, right? You're the only one. You're your own destiny. So sky's the limit, guys. Go and do it.
Wise words.
You can do it.
Wise words there from Lyndon. No, thank you, Lyndon. That's awesome. Oh, Easy, yourself, anything before you end our episode off here for us?
Well, I think what Lyndon said is true, and it rings true in a lot of respects, you know. And if you look at all these world champions, Lewis Hamilton, Ronaldo, Messi, a lot of the Springboks as well, those are all guys that come from humble circumstances, you know. And like you said, they put in the effort, they put in the practice 24/7, 365, and they went for it. And like Lyndon says, to every young kid out there, if you're 16, 17 years old practicing in your backyard, keep doing it. You could become a world champion too in whatever you're doing. So that's all I'm going to say, PD. I think it's been a great episode. Lyndon, thank you so much for coming. You gave us great insight. Once again, to all the fans who supported the Springboks and the rugby, big ups to you. Well done. We're proud of our boys. We're proud of the team, the managers. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And to the fans, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job. Great job all rounder. Like Lyndon says, the support has grown tremendously. Whether you know what a prop or a flank or a scrum half is, who cares? You are there behind our boys, and that's all that counts.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you. Thanks both of you guys for having me. It was nice chatting to you guys. It was lovely hearing your views as well and how you approached everything. So I want to thank you guys as well for having me.
Thank you, Lyndon. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Cool, Louise.
Anyway, Global
End it up for
Familia,
us.
this is PD, Lyndon and Oeezy saying peace out and take it easy. Until the next episode, we'll see you then. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Cheers, guys.
3, 2, 1.